Part of the field, Bradley. They'll go around again. Look for Dalton Steers and Mateo Romeo to charge up through this pack, though. 22nd, 28th, respectively.
Yeah, lots of big names all the way up and down this field to go, and I'm curious to see how some of these carts in the back, Ludovic DeCarry in the back as well. We'll see what happens for these carts. They come through, green flag out. We're racing here with Cadets in Charlotte.
Underway with some of the drivers going wide. Can hear the calls of green from the fans, as many of them excited to see what these cadets can do for a new lap. They rumble the way through the middle sector now, and so far, Slade Harrell building the advantage. That's over Spencer Height for the time being, as a couple drivers like one of the Heckman look to replicate their family members' success, able to charge up top 5.
Great move there from Grant Heckman down the inside. Top 4 going through. You see the family there on the tire wall giving the let's go signal. They are all going to be very excited to cheer on the cadets here. Our second youngest class of the day. Ages 8 to 10 here as they run through. 235 pounds, kart and driver combined as they come across here side by side for third. Reinhold Stockwell and the 222 Heckman working their way along. That's a great pass from Heckman to move up.
Continuing the charge ahead, so far so really good. Here Grant Heckman after all today. Right now Reinhold's just trying to maintain momentum and find a way to keep up with Height. Heckman says, pass, give me an error, pass up on the board. Top 3, Heckman already continuing the charge. One of the Heckman brothers racing machines in the top 3, 2 spots this lap.
Reinhold's passed there going through. Let's see if there can be a pass back into 14, into 15. Looking over the shoulder here is Heckman, trying to see what he can do to get by and hold and defend. Heckman, fastest lap of anyone last time through. There's the 112 of Barnett and the 23 of Neves battling it through side by side as they go along. This is a great battle coming through. Cadets very aggressive on the passes here early on. They are spending no time to hold on. They are working on passing. They are working on racing, going through down the inside. Here we go, the 222 Heckman past Spencer Height into P2 now.
They would charge ahead. Keep in mind, that team coming all the way from Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa specifically, to come out here this weekend and race a lot on the East Coast. So far, see those 222s with their team members continue to make pass after pass. Now, biggest challenges at stake. Can Heckman overtake Harrell, who's built up a 0.6 buffer? Keep in mind, Heckman's got the fastest lap by a 10th, but has to work with the Nitro Kart teammates to the leader.
And this is going to be one that the teammates are not going to let this go easy. Down the inside, we see Height try to get past Heckman, and we see here the battle continue through. More teammate battling coming along. The 24 of Reinholds wants to work around through the outside, switch back to the inside through 10. The 222 able to make his way back up into second after being passed for third, almost being passed to be sent to fourth. Is back up into second through the middle of the circuit, coming back across the line. Will be second with that battling. What did that let the gap get to, though? Gap comes across. It's a second. We have one car off here in the tire barrier trying to get back going.
Yeah, see who that might have been there. That, I believe, was one of the drivers in the 90s. They try and sort themselves out. It's going to be interesting to see the pass back coming up, though, from Spencer Height, the driver who won in the Summer Nationals last year and won here in Spring Nats in 2024. Continuing to stay pretty feisty. Looking at some of the drivers as they charge through the middle of the pack, by the way, to give themselves some attention. Stockwell fading in this race. Stockwell's been a top 5 kart this entire weekend, Bradley, and the Canadian is fading at the worst possible time.
Yeah, Stockwell there with the Tony kart, the number 32 plated kart falling down into P8, may fall further, unfortunately. You can see a lot of works there, a lot of point forwards, and the decision being made by all the karts behind, let's move, let's push. Unfortunately, again, remember, all of these karts are running the same tires they've ran since qualifying. through the weekend. So the thing with Stockwell that I have to wonder, and this is something that you would be learning really through cadets, how do you keep up with your equipment on the weekend here? As we see the 112 of Bryson Barnett making a dive down the inside on the 29 of Blaine Donovan. Great move there to swap in turn 8 and continue along. Now through turn 10 they go. How does the battle go? And for the 32, that kart runs wide there, just doesn't seem to have any grip left in those Vega tires, and that unfortunately does mean some great pressure here for the last of this race.
Appearances all throughout last year with King of the Castle. Those cars, and we have some trouble around in Spencer Height. Tight spinning around in turn 1. You can hear the skidding over the broadcast feed as that has seen him lose a lot of time. And another spinner, same exact spot. It's Dalton Sears now.
That 2 spins into turn 1. That is such an unusual place to see any incident here. That is why, look at the tire. The rain is here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It has caught us in the middle of the main event of cadets. Now, this is something for our second youngest class to really have to learn. How do they handle dry tires on what could be becoming a damp track? How damp is this track truly becoming? We don't really see the color changing, but it's enough. We've seen 2 drivers go off right now. And is it because of the weather? Is it because of just accidental moves? I have to wonder, for Height, was his moment just from battling with Heckman and Harrell? But the fact that we saw a second kart go around, I gotta wonder what's gonna happen here. The radar is looking green as it goes through here, and it's not green with money, it's green with rain.
Indeed, and remember, drivers have just been informed in the past minute, or it's a reminder with that weather system you see right below, there is a driver option tire conditions. They are under driver option tire conditions for this one, which means if we notify the race director elects to change that condition based on the weather. So we'll keep an eye on those situations for now. There is no mandatory window for the rain tires quite yet. Harrell, with all this, has actually expanded the gap back out because he's just been able to hit mark after mark. Slane Harrell continuing. And as you see, look at that. That banner is going to be something to watch for start under review.
That is big. Start under review. Rain is here. This race has really opened up in cadets. It is a complete just ball game of who knows what right now. This has been amazing to watch as they come through here in the feature. Cadet is absolutely crazy, and here's something to note. The number 44 kart, failure to leave room to race. Lap 5, turn 4 will have to finish behind the 80 of Laser. The AMAX kart down in 25th. And then we'll watch the 31 losing 2 positions here. That is Height, who is down 2 positions. Unsafe re-entry to track, lap 7, turn 1. That was his spin in turn 1 we saw. And unfortunately, he's down in 14. He'll drop 2 more places from wherever he ends up.
It's a little bit of back to the workshop for a couple of the karts in terms of wanting to improve for the Summer Nats. A lot of spots being lost for those drivers here. All while Slate Harrell just continues to throw command in this race. He has just been dominant over the course of this run here today and over the course of the weekend. And there's not much else you can say outside of that Nitro kart has had a phenomenal 2026 start here. Charlotte just seems to be his bread and butter track. Was a contender in last year's Spring Nats. Won, as mentioned, Stars competition. Now, amongst those contending here, just has been outright quick, to say the very least, as he's made his name in karts like Micro Swift and, of course, now in cadets and CKNA competition. Heckman, by the way, still maintains the gap over Reinhold. Right now, it's still a Nitro 1-3.
Yeah, and the LR splitting the meat and the sandwich here. Here's the thing that I'm looking at with the cadets is, you know, really I'm also thinking ahead to the next run that we have, which is Masters. Right now in cadets, it doesn't seem to be nearly wet enough to worry about any wet tires. But again, we saw on that radar, there is still bands of rain coming. And if you look and you zoom that radar way in, we're right in the pickle. Again, we're right between 2 cells, and it's moving just the right angle that it's kind of making things interesting. And I gotta wonder, with this race, of course, everyone's going to stay on dry tires through unless something comes up in the next few minutes and we get some torrential storybook downpour out of nowhere. But you got to wonder, when you start looking at Masters, are they thinking about wet tires at all? Are they thinking about moving to a wet tire? Are they thinking anything's going to get worse? Right now, it is far too dry to worry about anything, and sportsmen are currently sitting with wets on standby as the information we're getting. No Masters appear to have swapped tires at this time.
I was going to say, track looks bone dry, but will it stay that way? Rest of the run, as Stockwell is able to shuffle ahead. To get himself back at our spot. If it's amongst those, trying to figure out a way to charge ahead. One of the top contenders in Apex karting for 2026 so far in that conversation. Coming around through what's going to be 5 to go next time by. Look at some of the staggering though. Drivers getting some side-by-sides popping up. Stoner amongst those looking aggressive there. Able to find it out to the back of the group. Frank drops down to 9th.
Great battling here through the back of the top 10 as they go along. That 41 of Stoner again looking to switch back to the inside here. May be able to pull it off as they go. This battling continuing along as we see all up and down the field. Great fights continue to show. Everyone giving it their all at this point. But if you're Slate Harrell, 4.4 seconds to the good, you have nothing to worry about behind right now. It is truly take that nitro cart, keep it together, keep it moving. The 29 right now, Donovan leading a Tony Kart to Stockwell and keeping the battles through. Defends the inside into 8, and you can see behind that pack where it's kind of started to spread out and spread along here.
Some of the drivers we're just watching along with, by the way, remember that graphic involving start under review? 3 different carts did get trampoline violations. Laser, one of them. Frank, another one of them. Also at the 115. Speaking of carts off track, there goes an off track for one of the top carts, Stockwell. Not happy.
Stockwell with a big off. You can see the emotions there, just trying to get the cart to fire back up at this point to get back out on track. Stockwell was fighting within the top 10. Unfortunately, that cart will drop well down the order. Hopefully, Stockwell can get that cart fired again and get back out. Meanwhile, nothing is done in the battle for P2. Reinholz, Heckman passed through the inside. The 222 of Heckman gets that VLR cart back past the Nitro. Reinholz now trying to swap it back into 14 and 15 here as we head on to start lap 16 of 18.
They are fighting hard to try and get a better step of the podium. Couple laps to go, 3 to go specifically. Barnett, if they start boiling over, get on through in that situation. So they'll continue to try and fight out here. Reinholz all weekend long has looked stout. Can he find another run to get alongside? Gets blocked off. Had to lift a little bit. Heckman moves towards the middle.
What a great defense here going through as we continue along. Heckman looking to defend as strong as possible here for this second place, and the more they battle, of course, the more it's going to introduce Barnett there in P3 to try to close in and bring his way through. Look at the 24 go very wide over the curbs. Out of 14 into 15 they go. They come across the line now. Let's see here as it's 2 to go at the moment. Bryson Barnett in 4th, closing the gap out. Gap 1.2 seconds. Heckman, Reinholz, I hate to tell you, watch behind you. You both could be under trouble here soon.
Reinholz, one of the drivers from Wisconsin, a vice champion in previous runs with the Grands in CKNA competition. Looking to see if he can do that again in the spring nets. All with a bumper of Heckman. Heckman maintains through 10 up towards the technical areas. Some of the others getting a little bit feisty back there, but right now Heckman is getting a little bit feisty on his blocks. White flag is out for Slate Harrell. Final time around for the 88.
88 through 3, 4, and 5 beautifully so far, taking just the right line, not overdriving the cart, not doing anything unnecessary. That cart is tuned in through 6, 7. We go now all the way down the straight of 8, tucking the helmet, looking around, a little bit of bounce to try to get some extra speed. Great run through 8. The 88 Slate Harrell has been on the ball this weekend.
Slate Harrell making up for last year. Put on a rocket. The Nitro kart outright dominant. He's led just about every lap this weekend. Largest lead of the weekend. Slate Harrell wins it in Cadet.
And who's going to come across in second place? Reinholz able to get the pass here at the end, and Jackson Reinholz in the 24 will get the pass on the 222 of Grant Heckman comes through, and look at the group of carts coming through. The flatbed has to stand to the side here as the last of the top 10 come through, separated by rates of not going along, and here is how they go. Harrell, Reinholz, Heckman, your top 3. Barnett found 4th. Elam Stoner found P5 with Blaine Donovan in 6th. Chase Call can call it in 7th. Frank in P8. Neves and Spencer Height in P10.